2025 has been a little bit of a weird gaming year for me because two of my favorite studios, From Software and id Software, put out new games that I tried but honestly didn't enjoy and wasn't interested in playing. So what to do? I felt like I needed something totally fresh and different to play, but nothing seemed appealing. Admittedly, I was feeling a little burnt out and jaded with gaming in general. Well, in late August, I happened to see that there was yet another new free update for No Man's Sky, the long-running space survival and exploration game by UK-based Hello Games. I'd never played No Man's Sky, but was of course aware of the game and the interesting narrative surrounding it, that after a rocky launch back in 2016, the studio has never stopped expanding the mechanics and adding bigger and better content packages than anyone ever expected, while never resorting to microtransactions or paid season passes or any of the typical cash grabs we see from so many publishers and developers these days. In short, No Man's Sky has become one of the best stories in gaming. Whether you play it or not, there's really no way to look at the game and its studio and the community and not go, that's pretty awesome. And more studios should operate like this. The game has sold over 10 million copies and spawned countless imitators as it's turned into this living, breathing experience. Saying it came out in 2016 almost feels unimportant now, given how much the game visually, mechanically has evolved since then. Especially in terms of the tech behind the game, its engine, the procedural generation trickery. No Man's Sky feels super modern, at least to me. So I wasn't surprised my social media feed was showing me another promo video for the game, but again, I'd never played it. I usually gravitate to fantasy settings over sci-fi ones. I usually prefer linear designed open worlds. And the game itself just seemed so overwhelmingly massive that I was tempted to believe I had missed the boat, that it was too late to even consider jumping in. But I found myself watching this reveal video for the game's Voyagers update, with which players can customize their own starships and walk around inside the ship while it's zooming between planets, and I don't know, something just lit up inside of me. And then I looked on the PlayStation Store and saw that the game was on sale. It was like 50% off, so I thought, okay, I'm not deep in any one game right now. I have some time. I could finally try this game for like $25, and that includes 9 years of expansion content. I think that's 40 updates or close to it, plus the next gen upgrade, probably even more content in the future. You buy the game, you get everything. It's pretty tempting. And how long can you be curious about something before you finally take a leap? So I went for it, and here I am a couple months and a couple hundred hours later to say, I'm so glad I did. This isn't a guide about how to play No Man's Sky. There's thousands of those all over YouTube. This also isn't a history lesson about the studio. There's plenty of those too. This is just me gushing about a game I would have assumed wasn't for me, but that during a little personal gaming drought I took a chance on. And man, I'd probably be hard-pressed to come up with a list of like my 25 favorite games ever or something like that, and not include No Man's Sky at this point. From a certain perspective on the surface, the game almost seems generic. Like, oh, it's just another space thing. Flying around in a ship, crafting some stupid items, whatever. Having not played it, you can almost assume you know the deal, but I'm here to tell you, you don't. So many games claim to value player choice and player freedom. So many games tell you you can play any way you want before funneling you into some repetitive cycle. So many games claim to be artistically ambitious, but then force feed us corny preset protagonists, cast of NPCs, and paint-by-number story beats. And No Man's Sky, it's just such a breath of fresh air in this sense. It's truly something different, a different kind of game, a different kind of experience. So the game takes place in a technologically advanced world where interstellar travel is possible, and it starts with you waking up with amnesia on a random planet somewhere in the universe. The opening inner dialogue is, I find myself alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. I have no memory of how I got here, no sense of a before. And so you have to find your ship, which is wrecked somewhere nearby, and scavenge and craft some basic tools and parts to escape your predicament. Essentially, the game's tutorial. And at that point, you can literally do anything you want. There's a main story you can follow. It's not mandatory, but does lead to some pretty awesome rewards and revelations about the nature of the universe, the nature of reality. You can fully customize your character's race, size, appearance, gear. You can build a base, which includes terraforming the environment, like digging out a cave or a tunnel system, or even building a mountain. There's hundreds and hundreds of unique parts which you can free place and colorize to your liking. Underwater bases, cave bases, high-tech bubble bases on inhospitable worlds. You can fish, you can cook, you can build your own custom starship or salvage or trade for someone else's. There's a music-making mechanic device in the game. It almost reminds me of a simplified FL Studio, and you can literally program your own music and play it in your bases or on your own ship. You can be an archaeologist and excavate ancient bones and reconstruct and display them. You can explore haunted, derelict freighters floating in space full of highly valuable parts and goodies, but also dangerous swarms of biological horrors. You can craft your own multi-tool, a Swiss Army knife capable of mining, blasting, scanning. There's tons of different exocraft vehicles you can pilot, a mech-style one, a motorcycle, a big jeep, a tank. You can build racetracks for those exocrafts. You can be a scientist and study and record the flora and fauna on rare planets for rewards. If base building isn't enough, you can become the mayor of a full-fledged space settlement that you're responsible for developing and managing, complete with Animal Crossing style politics and disputes that need resolving. Same goes for ships. If a small starship or a larger corvette ship isn't enough, you can become the captain of a freighter, a giant mobile space base complete with a hangar, a crew. There's expeditions you can launch to explore distant worlds and gather rewards with your roster of frigates you recruit. Gosh, there's even a whole zoologist creature companion system where you can adopt, milk, breed, and even ride these crazy deep space creatures you discover. There's farming, there's Star Wars style space dogfights. I could go on and on and on. The amount of things you can do in this game, from mercenary quests to exploring miles beneath the surface of an ocean planet in a submarine, is truly overwhelming in the best way. And because of this, there's no right or wrong way to play. Honestly, you can go anywhere and be anyone you want to be. But the go anywhere part, that is probably the crux of the experience. Travel, traversal, exploration. And this is the wildest part of the game. No Man's Sky is largely procedurally generated by an incredibly complex algorithm that relies on equations to render and blend human and artist-created assets in completely unique ways, meaning no two planets are ever the same, and there's essentially an infinite number of planets. I've read 18 quintillion, and there's like 300 galaxies in the game, and each galaxy has millions, billions of planets, just like our real universe. So most of the time when you're playing No Man's Sky, you're exploring places and systems that no other player has ever seen. You're literally the first person to ever set foot on the soil. Not even the devs themselves have seen what you're seeing. It's kind of hard to explain this to. If someone had told me this before I played the game, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, whatever. But having put over 300 hours into the game now, there's something really, really special about this. The feeling of true discovery and true freedom. I don't know if I've ever experienced something like this in another game. So let's say this happens. You're playing No Man's Sky, and you discover a new solar system and set foot on one of its planets, maybe a really dangerously cold mountain world. That planet is real. It doesn't just temporarily exist on some private server or something. It's real. It actually exists in the game world and is permanent. And if you want to play multiplayer, you could give your friend the coordinates to this cold mountain world, and they could join you and help you build a big colony. And yeah, it's unreal stuff, honestly. And this also gets to my very favorite part of the game, which is hunting for the perfect planet, that Goldilocks planet. And I'm not talking necessarily an Earth-like planet, but a planet that just speaks to me personally. The aesthetics, the color palette, the plant life, the animal life. It's one of those I'll know it when I see it things. For example, right now my main planetary base is on this dead metallic world where I built an outpost on top of a huge mountain, inside of a cave on top of that mountain, which I terraformed out. And instead of making this base look nice and polished like something out of a sci-fi movie, I purposely made it look very rough and ready. It's full of pallets of bricks and exposed wires, and buckets of dirt and ladders and giant tires. So it looks like a construction site, like a makeshift base. It looks like a space explorer found this spot and slowly began setting up shop and exploring their surroundings, which is exactly what happened. It was one of the first planets I discovered in the game. I was just zipping around in my ship in awe of all these mountains popping up in the distance, so I landed on one of them and got to work. I'm in awe of Hello Games because nothing is mandatory in No Man's Sky. So many studios to me come off as insecure and unambitious by forcing players into these predetermined funnels with generic story beats and characters, and this couldn't be more different in No Man's Sky. There's no mandatory quest or boss. Devs and marketing departments love to abuse this kind of language, but it's real in No Man's Sky. You can make the game whatever you want it to be. A quiet, meditative hike across alien tundra, a chaotic space pirate fantasy, a base building sim, a photography expedition, a geology field trip, a solo survival challenge, a multiplayer hangout, a sci-fi fashion show, a farming game, a music studio, a haunted house, a petting zoo, a racing league, a museum, a dream journal, a memory place, a myth. There's no hand-holding, no blinking quest markers screaming at you, no NPCs dragging you into some overwrought drama. You're just dropped into the universe and told, go. And the game trusts you to find your own rhythm, your own rituals, your own reasons. And that freedom, it's not just mechanical, it's emotional, it's philosophical, it's existential, because when you find a planet that speaks to you, when you build a base that feels like yours, when you name a creature you discovered and it follows you around like a loyal companion, that's not just gameplay, that's authorship, it's intimacy, it's a kind of digital pilgrimage that isn't as common in gaming as you might think. I've had moments in No Man's Sky that felt like dreams I didn't know I'd had. Like stumbling across a glowing cave system deep beneath a toxic ocean and realizing I could build a base here. Like watching a sunrise from the cockpit of my ship, parked on a cliffside of a planet with lavender grass and floating jellyfish. Like hearing the music I programmed echo through the halls of my freighter while I sorted through bones I'd excavated from a desert moon. These aren't just features, they're memories. And the game never tells you what those memories should be, it just gives you the tools, the canvas, the silence, the stars. It's unfortunate to me how many games today, even good ones, feel like they're often chasing the same blueprint, the same upgrade trees, the same quest structures, the same cinematic tone, the same protagonist with the same voice and tragic backstory. You boot up a new release and within an hour you're like, yeah, I know exactly what this is. It's polished, it's competent, but it's also predictable, it's safe, it's familiar to the point of fatigue. And then there's No Man's Sky. It doesn't feel like it was designed by a committee. It doesn't feel like it's trying to win a Game of the Year award or hit some quarterly KPI. It feels like a passion project, a love letter to curiosity itself. It's not trying to be the next big thing, even though it kind of became that in a way. It's just trying to be its own thing. And that difference is palpable. No Man's Sky doesn't just offer freedom, it embodies it. It's not a game that tells you what kind of player to be. It's a game that asks, what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of worlds do you seek? What kind of stories do you want to tell? And in a landscape where so many games feel like slight variations of a theme, No Man's Sky feels like a theme unto itself, a genre of one, a singular evolving universe that refuses to be boxed in. That's why it stands out. That's why it sticks. That's why even after hundreds of hours, I still find myself whispering mid-gameplay, wait, what if I tried this? So tell me what you think. Have you tried No Man's Sky? Am I preaching to the choir? If not, are you curious to try it now? Or have you stumbled onto any other games recently, whether they're indie or AAA, that felt like a breath of fresh air to you, like No Man's Sky has been to me? I look forward to hearing your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, know that you can unlock more content from me at patreon.com/terapop, like my Patreon podcast and monthly newsletter, each with dozens of entries going back years now. And if you like the tone of this discussion, you can also check out my Discord server, Terapop's Treehouse, if you're looking for a chill place to talk gaming with friendly, like-minded people. Those links are all down in the description. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.